Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's quick video, I'm going to be teaching you how to properly harvest and prune your basil so you can get basil all summer long. So I'm going to start the video in the shade because we are experiencing yet another heat wave here in southern Ontario. Lots and lots of heat and humidity and very little rain. Leave a comment below if where you are in the world you're experiencing this kind of weather this summer. But I wanted to talk quickly about the purpose of pruning and harvesting your basil in this particular manner. The whole idea of properly pruning and harvesting your basil is to force the plant to produce more vegetation and to not produce flowers. So the method I'm going to show you for harvesting your basil is going to ensure that, one, you're going to have a nice kind of bushy basil plant that should produce vegetation for you all summer long as you keep up with your pruning. And then secondly, you're going to have a basil plant that isn't going to produce any flowers. The trick to this is to stay on top of it and to go out and check your basil plants often. Once they flower, it sends a message to the plant that, you know, it's soon nearing the end of its life cycle. So you do want to try to keep on top of this method. So now I'm going to go brave this heat and take you out in the garden and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this is one of many basil plants that I have growing in my vegetable garden. There's another one over there. My family and I love pesto. And that's mainly what we use this crop for. We like using it on sandwiches, on pizza instead of tomato sauce, or combined with tomato sauce, on pasta, of course. I've even used it in scrambled eggs. So I grow quite a bit of basil. Basil also makes a really great companion plant for things like onions and peppers. These, I believe, are our hot peppers. And then over here, we've got more peppers. And of course, marigolds. I can do a video on companion planting if you guys like. Leave a comment below if you want me to talk about the companion planting we did this year. But let's get back to basil. I've got some nice cloud cover, so this is perfect. So again, as I mentioned, the goal of pruning your basil is to force the plant to produce more vegetation and not flowers. And I'm right out in the perfect time because, as you can see already, this basil plant wants to produce a flower. Right there, you can see it. So what I'm going to do is, on all of the main stalks of my plant, so this would be considered a main stalk on my basil plant, I am going to harvest right here. And as you can see, below this main stalk, it has already started producing new, tiny vegetation. So if I cut the plant off here, it's going to stop sending growth up this way and instead force the plant to have these leaflets grow larger. So this is going to produce a bushier plant. If I do this on all of the main stalks, you can see all these little subleaves here are going to get larger, and soon they will look just like these ones. So you can continue to repeat the process over and over again. So the trick is to harvest your basil from the main stalk, leaving the new growth leaves underneath. And it's a little blurry, I just use scissors. So now I've snipped off that basil, and that's going to send a signal to this plant to send the growth hormone to these new leaves, and they are going to get larger, and they're going to look just like these ones, probably in a few days. We've got a lot of heat going on right now. So they're going to look larger just like this, and you can come out and repeat the process. So this, of course, means you do have to stay on top of your basil harvesting if you want to stop it from producing flowers. So it's a good idea to get out every, twice a week or so, check on your basil. It stores fairly well in the fridge, but we've actually successfully vacuum sealed it too. But my pesto recipe only needs 4 cups of basil. So even from 2 or 3 plants, I'll easily be able to harvest enough to make fresh pesto for dinner tonight. So I'm going to get to harvesting. I hope you have found this video helpful. I know when I first started growing basil, I think I harvested it completely incorrectly. I was just pulling the leaves off, right? And if you do that, you can do that if you choose, but if I just pull this leaf off, it's still going to produce a flower in the center. So the trick is really to get down on that main stalk there and harvest it. I can either harvest it here if I want to, and then these small leaves on the side will grow, or I could even harvest further down, because as you can see further down the main stalk, there are more subleaves growing here as well. All right, I'm back under the safety of shade, and I managed to get enough basil for me to make a batch of pesto for dinner tonight. We're gonna have some pasta. Nice easy meal for a hot day. I wanted to touch briefly on a question I get a lot when I talk about making pesto or harvesting basil, is whether or not you can can it. And the short answer is no, there is no canning safe recipe for pesto. Water bath or pressure can, it doesn't matter. So the best way to preserve your pesto is by freezing it. And I like to use the 250 milliliter wide mouth mason jars. The wide mouth ones, the ones that are more kind of decorative on the outside, those ones are specifically designed for freezing. So I've never had a jar crack. And they preserve that way really well. We actually still have one jar of pesto from last year, and it's just fine. It'll thaw great, and we can use it on anything we'd like to use our pesto on. So thank you so very much for watching this video and continuing to subscribe and enjoy my content. I truly appreciate you spending some time here with me, especially when I get to go out and play in the vegetable garden. So thank you again, and I will see you on the next video.